Hello and welcome back to the Aston Football Channel and today's episode of Premier League Preview, of course, for Gameweek 12. Now, before we get into this week's fixtures, let's look at last week's results, which saw Tottenham win in undoubtedly the biggest game of the weekend, the North London derby, of course, against Arsenal 2-0, thanks to Harry Kane and Heung-min goals. That front two have been on fire this season for Jose Mourinho's men, of course, combining for 31 goals already this Premier League season, which is an absolute madness. Anyway, let's get into this week's fixtures. Leeds United versus West Ham United. Both Leeds and West Ham lost their last fixtures. Leeds losing to Chelsea, and as I mentioned, Manchester United beat West Ham. And West Ham sit the higher of the two teams in the table, with West Ham finding themselves in 8th, while Leeds are in 14th, despite the fact you hear from the media Leeds doing so well and West Ham you don't really hear about them. I don't think West Ham are that good, but they have a way of playing. They have a way of trying to shut up shop and hit teams on the counter attack, using the pace in the fullback / wing back in Arthur Masuaku and Kufau, and they've got a very good front line. I think Jared Bowen's looked fantastic. I like Antonio but he's not fit, and Pablo Fornal is hit and miss really for me. But they've got good players coming off the bench and players that will eventually start to break into first team, like Said Benrahma. Leeds, on the other hand, I think defensively shaky, and like I said, they lost 3-1 to Chelsea. However, Chelsea have been a fantastic team this season, and I think Leeds have largely been okay. I thought they would be struggling in front of goal, but I think that side of the pitch, they're not been too bad. I think defensively, I don't think they're amazing, and I think that could cost them today. However, I don't see them losing the game. I think it will be a 1-1 draw. Wolves versus Aston Villa. Villa's great start to the season is slowly fading, and that has been shown in the last 5 games, having only picked up 1 win and 4 defeats. And that win was, of course, only against Arsenal. Wolves have had a bit of a bad run of games in recent weeks. Of course, they lost 4-0 to Liverpool last time out, and they haven't won a game in 4. And of course, that one was, of course, against Arsenal. I can see this game being a close one, to be honest. I think either teams could win it. I don't think Wolves has that big of a goal for it now. Jimenez is, of course, injured. And because of that, I can see Aston Villa winning this game. However, I do think both teams will score. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Villains win. Newcastle United versus West Brom. Now, for me, this is going to be the boring game of the week. We always have one, and today this will be it. Newcastle and West Brom, I don't rate any of them. And I think this game will come down to a single goal, moment of magic, something like that. And I think if any team's going to produce it, it probably will be Newcastle, because they are the home team and because they do have a fantastic striker in Callum Wilson and an absolute star in Alan St. Maximin. And I think them two will pull up clutch, will come clutch for them and will win in this game. I'm not going to speak too long about it. I think Newcastle will win the game and I'm going for a 1-0 win. And the derby, Manchester United versus Manchester City. Of course, it's the Manchester derby, and no game is bigger for Manchester United right now. Of course, we went out embarrassingly in the Champions League after facing defeat to RB Leipzig 3-2. Watch along for that, of course, down on my channel. So check that out if you want to see my reaction to that game. It was a shocker. But check it out. And Man City, Man United, both need to win this, not just for pride, but to try and really get into a top 4 race and try and get into a title race. I'm not going to speak too much about it. If you want to see more in-depth analysis of this game, of course, tomorrow I will be uploading a match preview for this one at 12 o'clock. So do tune in for that if you are interested. But I am going to go for a Manchester United win, shockingly, 2-1. Everton versus Chelsea. Just like Aston Villa, Everton's great start to the season is slowly fading thanks to their injury problems, while Chelsea look unstoppable right now, especially since the signing of Edouard Mendy in goal for Chelsea. And Chelsea have been fairly consistent all year, and I think at the start of the year they were really, really screwed over by their goalkeeper, Kepa, just not being able to be a good goalkeeper, just being an awful goalkeeper, couldn't make saves, had confidence that was all over the floor, and just kept giving away goals. Now they've got a fantastic goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy, who instead of losing them games, which Kepa seemed to be doing, he wins them games with some fantastic saves. And I can see that continuing. Like I said, Everton have got injury problems to deal with, and they haven't looked like the Everton team they looked like at the start of the season. And look, it's going to be a close game, but I believe Everton have fans back in the ground now, So that will be a big boost to Everton, and I think that will see them getting a draw in this one. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Southampton versus Sheffield United. Now, like I always say about teams playing Sheffield United, I think it's going to be a fairly easy one for Southampton. Southampton have looked fantastic this year. They find themselves in 5th place, and they don't look like stopping anytime soon. Like I said, they've just been fantastic. I think they're a proper good footballing side. Sheffield United sat bottom, and there's a glaring issue in that squad which they need to address in January. They have no goal threat. I don't think anyone goes into a game against Sheffield United thinking, shit, we're going to concede a few goals here. Sheffield United win games this season by scoring 1 and conceding none. Because I don't think they're going to score 3 or 4. And I'm going for a 2-0 Southampton win. Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. Tottenham and Palace both come into this game off the back of fantastic wins. Palace winning 5-1 against the Baggies, thanks to brilliant performances from Christian Benteke and Wilfried Zaha, who both scored a brace, while of course Spurs won the North London derby against Arsenal, and of course that kept them top of the league, and I think they will stay top. I think Crystal Palace have been decent this season. I don't think there's any doubt they're not going to get relegated, like I did say in my preview. However, obviously they're not putting up any trees. They're going to be just a standard mid-table team, and I'm going for a 3-0 Tottenham win, and I think Harry Kane and Heung-min-Son will continue their fantastic form they've had this season, and will both get onto the score sheet. Fulham versus Liverpool. Now, let's not make any big fuss about this game. Liverpool are winning it. They have looked fantastic despite all their injuries, and they're proving why they are one of the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world, and especially one of the best teams in the Premier League. Jurgen Klopp has faced adversity this season with the amount of injuries they've got, and has come out and is coming out of it with flying colours. Of course, they beat Wolves 4-0 last weekend. And I don't see Fulham standing a chance against this Liverpool team, especially when they've got an attack of Diogo Jota, who's been fantastic in signing, Salah, Mane. This type of game Firmino could probably score in. I'm going 3-0 Liverpool. Arsenal versus Burnley. Both teams come to this game in terrible form. And Burnley, shockingly, you would say have the better Premier League form. However, this is the type of game Arsenal will break that form and break that winning duct they've kind of had since beating Manchester United at Old Trafford. Like I say, they've not had a great run in the Premier League. They seemingly cannot get a win to save their lives. Aubameyang has been awful. Hasn't scored for Arsenal since that penalty against Manchester United. And like I say, I think they'll break that duct down and they'll win. They've had very good results in the Europa League. And I feel like they could start trusting a few of these more younger players, these more kids, if you want to put it in that term. And I think they will break the duck today against Burnley, and I think they will win it. I'm going for a 1-0 Arsenal win. And the final game of the weekend is Leicester City versus Brighton and Hove Albion. I think this is going to be a pretty decent game, to be honest. Brighton are 16th in the table. Leicester are in 4th place. And I think that Leicester will hold on to their position in 4th place with Manchester United and Southampton hot on their heels. I think that 4th place spot will be theirs at the end of this week, because I think they will win against Brighton. I think that Leicester attack is very frightening, and I think Jamie Vardy loves a goal, and I think he's going to score some today. I don't think Leicester have been fantastic recently. Obviously, they only just beat Sheffield United last time out thanks to a last-minute goal from Jamie Vardy. I think they will win 2-0. And finally, we go on to our player to watch, and for me, that's going to be our Portuguese Magnifico, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has a huge game against Manchester City, of course, the Manchester derby. And I think Bruno Fernandes will make or break Manchester United's game against the Citizens. I think Bruno Fernandes will either win us the game or lose us the game. He's going to be the player that has to bring this attack into life. Cavani and Martial may be injured and may be out for this game, so it's not going to be easy. And Bruno Fernandes has what it takes to win Manchester United this game, and I think he will, to be honest. Like I said, I went for a 2-1 win, so that's why I've gone for Bruno Fernandes. Let me know down below what you think of my player to watch, and what you think of my predictions, and what your predictions on player to watch is down below. Subscribe if you're new and you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss another video. Of course, like I said, there will be a match preview for the Manchester United versus Manchester City Manchester derby coming out tomorrow. So make sure you, like I said, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss that video when that comes out tomorrow at 12. And of course, there will be a match watch along for the Manchester derby up on my channel as well. So if you did enjoy, like I said, make sure you hit that like button below, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you next time. Peace.